dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back with more Watch Mojo. Watch Mojo. We have 10 most wanted FBI criminals that face justice. We like seeing justice served, don't we?
Always.
She said, that's for shizzle.
Oh, gosh.
My nizzle. For sure. But we gonna see who has made the I wonder like what is their like rank with this list? Is it like, you know, like they were like serious or just 10 random people? You get what I'm saying? But with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
liking it with a thumbs up.
But let's get it, shawty. Let's hop into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
He heard his name on the radio, and he just called the FBI and said, just come get me.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Yay.
And today we're counting down our picks for the most infamous members of the FBI's most wanted list who faced justice through legal or mortal means.
He was a criminal at age 13.
Leslie Isben Rogge. The internet has given us some wonderful things like funny cat videos, sourdough bread recipes, or if you're Leslie Isben Rogge, a one-way ticket back to jail. The prolific American bank robber is believed to have carefully executed roughly 30 bank robberies over a multi-decade crime spree.
Since he escaped from federal custody in 1985, Rogge has been charged with bank robberies in Arkansas and North Carolina.
He was finally arrested for one carried out in Key Largo, Florida in 1984, but managed to escape after bribing one of the guards.
But nothing that he said or did, he was very cool, calm, collective. I mean, just, he wasn't afraid, you know.
He made it onto the FBI's most wanted list in 1990 and turned himself in 6 years later during a nationwide manhunt in Guatemala. The manhunt had been triggered by a first-of-its-kind event. Someone had recognized Rogge's photo on the FBI website. He is currently incarcerated and serving a 65-year prison sentence.
This case marks the first time a criminal has been caught using the World Wide Web.
Eric Rudolph. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, unless you're Eric Rudolph, then it's pretty much just trash better left untouched.
Jeffrey Postel wasn't practicing any extraordinary police work. He thought he'd simply caught someone trying to break in to this grocery store.
Rudolph served in the military before being discharged for marijuana use. He planted a bomb in Centennial Olympic Park, Atlanta during the 1996 Summer Olympics, killing one person and injuring many others. The bombing led to the moniker Olympic Park Bomber and landed him on the FBI's most wanted list in 1998.
A fugitive with $1 million reward for his capture.
This wouldn't be his last crime, though. He was responsible for multiple additional bombings, targeting abortion clinics and a gay bar, until he was captured in 2003 while rummaging through a dumpster. He pleaded guilty and received 4 consecutive life sentences that he is still serving in a supermax prison.
He didn't change a thing.
No, except that his actions destroyed a lot of lives.
Warren.
Have you ever heard of him before?
No,
They did
yes, but no. I'm just going to say no.
They had like a TV series or something about him. I want to say on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say they had a... I have to check that out, man. I swear. If not, that's just me being... But I swear I see something. But,
I feel like I remember something about like the clinic and some about...
Now, I do know about the Atlantic bombing thing with the Olympics.
Yeah. I feel like I do, but I'm just going to say no because I can't remember any details.
Yeah. I had to go back and like look into it. But I already had heard about him before.
Yeah.
Except that his actions destroyed a lot of lives.
And he looks so like careless in the face. Like...
I just nonchalant about it. Just like whatever.
Yeah.
Warren Jeffs. This infamous religious cult leader was born in 1955 in Sacramento, California. His father, Rulon, was president of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Mormon sect known for practicing polygamy. Jeffs inherited that leadership when his father passed away in 2002, along with most of his father's widows.
He really kind of set himself up as God.
He arranged marriages between his male followers and minors, landing him on the FBI's most wanted list in 2006. He didn't last long on the run, though, and was caught only a few months later during a routine traffic stop. While initial efforts to convict him in Utah and Arizona were overturned, it was Texas that handed him his final verdict, a 2011 life sentence for sexual assault.
Jeffs walked out of the courthouse silent after being sentenced to life in prison.
Juan Garcia Abrego.
Until this week, very few people had ever heard of Juan Garcia Abrego, but now he's on the FBI's top 10 list.
Before becoming the first drug trafficker on the FBI's most wanted list in 1995, Juan Garcia Abrego dealt in stealing cars and trafficking drugs. He then succeeded his uncle Juan Nepomuceno Guerra as head of the famed Gulf cartel in Mexico. Garcia Abrego revolutionized the way the cartel did business, expanding their smuggling operations and forming an alliance with the Cali cartel in Colombia.
Look closely. This man is the ruthless leader of one of the most powerful criminal organizations in North America, the Gulf Cartel.
He spearheaded money laundering operations that likely hit 8 figures and oversaw massive protection rackets for other cartels. Estimates from American business and government sources in the mid-90s put his net worth somewhere in the $10 to $15 billion range. He was arrested for drug trafficking in 1996 and extradited to the United States, where he is serving a life sentence.
It's encouraging that two governments are seriously working together to stop the flow of drugs from Mexico to the U.S.
Thomas James Holden. Thomas James Holden started out doing payroll delivery robberies as a member of the Holden Keating gang. The notorious gang would end up committing dozens of robberies over the next few years, including a $135,000 U.S. mail truck heist. Holden was first arrested in 1928, but channeling his inner Michael Scofield, broke out just 2 years later. He was eventually rearrested and remained in prison until his parole in 1947. Holden became the inaugural member of the FBI's most wanted list in 1950 for the murder of his wife and brothers-in-law. Described as, quote, a menace to every man, woman, and child in America, he was captured for the final time in 1951 thanks to a very vigilant newspaper reader. He died in prison while serving a life sentence. James Charles.
Some of these people look familiar, though. Like the
cult leader.
The cult leader, he looked familiar.
Yeah.
The name was familiar.
I've seen him before.
Now, the cartel guy,
I don't think I've seen
never
him.
heard of him before. And then this guy, never heard of him before.
No.
Like it's crazy how random people end up making like the top 10. You just be like, huh? Because like when you hear somebody being on the top 10 most wanted by the FBI, what are you like thinking? Like, what crime you thinking they committed?
Would your mind go like straight to like taking someone's life?
Straight to murder or
Yeah.
mass killing or something.
But I guess like
that.
growing up watching and seeing that, you know that that's not the only thing that will land you on the list.
But it's like you get what I'm saying?
I don't know. No, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Like, it's like if somebody on like big money laundering type thing, they can end it up on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, they ain't hurt nobody but the pockets. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess some people feel like it could be life or death for some certain people. So I get it. I get on. But I'm like, they still.
You out here, it's still a crime.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
not
the
saying
thing.
it's not.
I know that you're not saying you're not. It's not. I cannot talk today. My brain is just all over the place. But it's still a crime. So at the end of the day.
But to end up on the top 10 most wanted FBI list.
Because after a while, honey, it's in the millions. It's getting to be up there. Yeah, it's time to get you up. Look, you're doing too much.
Hell, tracking with all that wiring. The wiring of the cash track they had.
Charles Kopp. After the 1998 killing of physician Barnett Slepian, perpetrator James Charles Kopp led authorities on a manhunt that crossed international borders.
We are outraged that somebody would have the audacity and the just terrible gall to come in and do that to another human being.
Kopp's radical anti-abortion viewpoints motivated the murder and earned him the label of terrorist by some institutions. He sought refuge in Mexico, Ireland, and eventually France, evading capture for years and becoming the 455th fugitive to be placed on the most wanted list. After his apprehension by French authorities in 2001, Kopp was extradited to the U.S. to face trial and eventual conviction. Though Kopp avoided the death penalty, Judge Michael D'Amico declared the act, quote, premeditated and immoral. He was given a 25 years to life sentence, which he still serves in the Mendota Federal Correctional Institution. James Whitey Bulger. Most 14-year-olds are hanging out with their friends, playing sports, or complaining about their parents. 14-year-old James Whitey Bulger, meanwhile, was arrested and in juvie.
Then Bulger's life of crime truly began.
The Boston native had already developed a reputation as a fierce, loyal, and vicious criminal, one that would only continue to grow as he took over the infamous Winter Hill Gang in South Boston.
50-year-old Bulger quickly seizes control of the remaining Winter Hill Gang.
Bulger became an FBI informant in 1975, ratting out his criminal rivals. In exchange, his FBI handler made sure his own crimes were ignored. Bulger went on the run in 1994 to avoid a RICO case against him, and was added to the FBI Most Wanted list in 1999. He managed to evade capture until 2011, and was killed in prison in 2018.
The notorious boss.
Man, you know he wasn't gonna make it in jail.
Yeah,
He was
you done
snitching
snitched on everybody.
for years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That definitely wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna make it, baby. And he older too.
Yeah.
You gonna come across somebody who you locked up they dad, uncle. It ain't just you got them locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Just or anyone just from the other side. So whatever the gang it was that he
wasn't gonna make
the
it.
rivals. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Boston crime boss James Whitey Bulger is dead.
Theodore Ted Bundy. This infamous serial killer confessed to taking the lives of over 30 women, many of them college students.
Bundy was seemingly unstoppable.
His crimes, known for their cruelty and viciousness, included the 1974 Pacific Northwest killing spree.
Like, you know what's so crazy with Ted? Just looking at him, would you imagine that he did all what he did? Just looking at him. What you looking at?
I was thinking. Because every time you see him, you ask me that.
I don't ask you that.
Yes, that's not your first time asking me that. And
it might not be the first time, but I don't always ask you that.
What? Okay, not always. I'm exaggerating, I guess. But and I always say like, what does someone that would like commit the crimes he did? What does that person look like?
But that many though.
What does that person look like though? I never put anything past anyone. So yes, he does look like someone that's capable of doing it.
I have asked you that before. My bad.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing every time.
He's just loose.
And it's all about the eyes. I'm all over with eyes. Like you can tell a lot with like looking at someone in their eyes.
That is true.
And something is just not all there for me. Every time I look at him, I'm just like, it's just not.
Some people do look very demonic by the eyes, and we've seen plenty of people like.
Yeah, some people just look so soulless and just so dark. Like their eyes just so
Their cruelty and viciousness included the 1974 Pacific Northwest killing spree and the 1978 Chi Omega sorority house break-in in Florida.
In the early hours of January the 14th, 1978, just 1 week after arriving in Tallahassee, Ted Bundy struck again.
Bundy has been described as, quote, sadistic, quote, cold-hearted, and, quote, the definition of heartless evil, and was known to revisit many of his crime scenes. His ability to evade law enforcement struck fear into the hearts and minds of people across the country. Bundy was placed on the FBI's Most Wanted list in 1978 and arrested shortly thereafter. He received 3 death penalty sentences and was executed via the electric chair in January 1989.
How you get somebody 3 death penalties? Damn, that's crazy. You already on death. You give me another, like, shit, the fuck? Y'all gonna fry me 3 times? You gonna turn me to a burnt chicken, huh?
Chill.
Burn me to the crisp, huh? All right, when you get done with the fry them, send them my way. We're gonna fry them a little bit more.
That's crazy.
All right, we fried the motherfucker. Send them on over. All right. Let's finish his ass off. He done. He's smoking. We frying flesh. Ooh.
Only when facing almost certain execution, after 11 years on death row, did Bundy finally start to confess.
James Earl Ray.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
In April 1968, outside a motel in Memphis, Tennessee, James Earl Ray assassinated activist and minister Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He fled the scene, earning himself a spot on the FBI's most wanted list. Ray was eventually apprehended while trying to board a flight in the UK and sentenced to 99 years in prison. He escaped in 1977, landing him right back on the FBI's most wanted list for a second time. He was recaptured 3 days later and another year tacked on to his sentence. While in prison, he maintained his innocence and claimed to have been a victim of a grand conspiracy. He pleaded for a new trial that was never granted and died of illness in 1998.
He spent the rest of his life behind bars, yet always maintained his innocence.
Before we continue...
That's crazy. Cause we both know about James Earl.
Yeah.
Like, if you from, honestly, our area, you've been to, especially Black, you've been to Lorraine Motel. Have you? You have, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
A couple times. I would say several times, but at least.
So,
I think when I went like 3 times.
I think I went either. I know for a fact, I know once for sure. I think twice.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you see Martin Luther King hotel room that he was in. You know, you see the part. It's ain't the part that he actually got killed that blocked off. Outside, you can go outside like see it, but you can't get to.
Yeah, you can't like go,
his spot.
Yeah,
but it's something
you can
right
see
there.
It, like, yeah.
But then they got the inside of his hotel room with the chicken and stuff that's still in there. You see how the bed was and everything. It's kind of like a frozen moment in time, you know, and. It's just crazy, bro.
And so many other things, but yeah.
Yeah, like the bus,
Yeah.
they got Maka, the Rosa Parks bus. So hey, if you ever in Memphis, man, go visit the Civil Rights Museum. It's a nice experience. You know what I'm saying? Why I say you go like 3, 4, 5 times? No, because
and I only went that many times because it was a field trip.
Yeah, only reason why I won't say that because. Typically, they're not constantly adding things. So if you've seen it once, you've seen it. Yeah. Like, ain't no point of, you know.
Oh, so we going again?
But you might, like, if you haven't seen
yeah,
it, you know,
it was
most
nice,
definitely. Especially, like, you got kids or something. It'd be something nice to let them know the history, you know what I'm saying? Something that's very impactful. But can I vouch to go to Graceland if you ever in Memphis? No. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of people born and raised in Memphis. They've been to the Civil Rights Museum. They ain't never been to Graceland and never will.
Can't vouch for that.
You go into your settings and switch on notifications. Osama Bin Laden. Many years before he was the worldwide face of terror, Osama Bin Laden was born to a wealthy Saudi Arabian family in 1957.
He was the 17th of more than 50 children of a self-made billionaire.
For years, he used his wealth to support...
50 children? Did they say 50?
He was 17 or 50.
Damn, your daddy was getting it. He shoot the club up. Shoot the club up. Shoot the club up.
For real, though.
Boy didn't know nothing about no car. It says, slapping Jimmy on the thing. Jimmy, I don't know no damn Jimmy. Oh, nigga, put a rubber on. Rubber don't go on my...
I'm done.
He go shoot that club up. Oh, shoot that club up.
I'm done.
For real though.
The children of a self-made billionaire.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
For years, he used his wealth to support resistance fighters in the Afghan-Soviet War before founding Al-Qaeda in 1988. The group was responsible for numerous terror attacks, including the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings that landed bin Laden on the FBI's most wanted list. Just a few years later, he shocked the world with the horrific events of...
Hold on, it said 1998?
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years later, he did the... Damn. That's 01, right? 9/11?
9/21, yeah.
So, wow.
I had to count it like that. I don't know. 9/21, yeah.
Terror attacks, including the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings that landed bin Laden on the FBI's most wanted list. Just a few years later, he shocked the world with the horrific events of 9/11, claiming nearly 3,000 lives in the world's deadliest terrorist attack.
Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror.
He then went into hiding, leading to a decade-long global manhunt that finally ended in 2011 when he was killed by members of SEAL Team 6.
that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama Bin Laden.
Which of these criminals do you think is the worst of the worst?
All of them.
I ain't gonna hold you. When I heard Bin Laden here got killed, I was like, no lie, that was too easy for him. You know what I mean?
Oh, so just
like death is too easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that, you know. Like, even though I feel like he already felt as though he was in prison because he couldn't live freely. Because have you ever, like, looked into that? Like, the whole thing and, like, where he was living at, his hideout
I've
was
seen videos
in the ground and all that.
I've watched, like, the pieces that people,
And a lot of people would say that's like living in prison, though. That's some might say it's worse than prison. Because you're constantly living in fear, but you're not behind those bars. You're not captivated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think low-key death probably was a little too easy for him.
Probably.
But hey.
Crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Now, some of these people I did know. Some of them I didn't know. Some of them it was just new to me.
Yeah, most of them was new to me except for like a few. One, two, about three. Maybe three. Because I feel like I know about the cult leader guy, whatever. I feel like I've heard about him before. Of course, you knew Ted because he make his way on everything. And then you know about Osama. And then who else do we know about?
The Olympic bomber guy.
You knew about him. I've heard about it, but I don't know like full details to say that I fully.
I'd say about 50-50. About 50-50. Half of them we knew, half of them was brand new.
And there's so many more out there. That's what's crazy.
They do worse.
Yeah.
They do a lot.
That's crazy.
Worse.
But anyway.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments for us. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Tierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
Yeah.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my pride.